Good afternoon. Yeah, today I'm here again, and I've got a number of issues that I need to discuss today. First and foremost, I want to thank everyone who has been supporting the project, everyone who has been supporting the book. So far, we have had some incredible responses, and people have been buying the book and reading the book, and they've also been giving me some feedback, which I think is very encouraging. So I just want to thank everyone. The book is available on Amazon, and it's only £10 for those in the UK. And for those who want signed copies, you can talk to me and I'll send you some signed copies. You just need to give me your address. So yeah, it's encouraging stuff. It's quite encouraging. First cut, memos of a football fan. So let's do it. Let's push this book. Let's push this project and see how far it can go. I thank you for that. Today I have a number of issues that I want to talk about, and some of them local about Zimbabwean football, and some of them international. But I think the first port of call for any football fan will be the Champions League. The Champions League is the king of leagues, the king of football, and everyone is interested in what happens in the Champions League. So we now know the results. Barcelona, the first point of call obviously will be the Barcelona versus Bayern Munich result. Wow, that was an unexpected result. 8-2, Barcelona lost. It's something that shook the world of football, and the newspapers in Spain were livid, to say the least. They couldn't forgive the performance of Barcelona, and some of them even gave players like Lionel Messi a 0 out of 10 for their performances. That's something unheard of. So I guess it is simply because people were shocked by the result. But if you look closely at how Barcelona have progressed so far, or regressed, so to speak, you begin to realize that they have not been the same Barcelona that we know. The Barcelona which dominated European football for some 4 years or so when they won the Champions League twice under Pep Guardiola, with Iniesta, Xavi as the fulcrum of the team, Busquets, Lionel Messi, and all those other players, with Carlos Puyol at the back. They are no longer the same team. It looks like the team has stagnated. And I would say, in my analysis, I would say maybe they've relaxed a bit, or they've stagnated. And I think they've also neglected what brought them the earlier success. And I think what has always defined Barcelona is the academy, the La Masia Academy, the famed Barcelona Academy, which has produced the players like Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, Busquets, all those players who have come through the academy. These are the players who define what Barcelona means. Because I always say Barcelona, they are more than a club. They represent something much more than the football. They are an identity. And we know the political implications surrounding the club. But above all, they pride themselves in having a certain philosophy, which they try to play. And because of that philosophy, once it is diluted, there is lack of direction. So the way they've been operating in the past 5 years has been strange. They've brought in players whom you never thought you would see near the Nou Camp. Players like Prince Boateng, for example. You wonder why they would sign him. A player like Vidal, I kind of understand why they tried to bring him in, because maybe they wanted some bite in midfield. but he's not the kind of player who is calm enough to operate in a Barcelona system. You need bite in midfield, but at the same time, you need someone who can then orchestrate some moves, like what Javier Mascherano used to do. He was a defensive midfielder, but he understood the Barcelona system. So at the moment, Barcelona, they are at a bad place. They are at a low point. And I hope that this defeat, the 8-2 defeat, will be a wake-up call so that they revisit the foundation of their success. And the foundation of their success, or the template of their success, as far as I'm concerned, is the academy. So if they go back to the academy, I think they will come back to the top. And obviously the question will arise, what should happen? Should Messi go? Because Messi has been Mr. Barcelona for some time now, for the past 10 or so years. So should he go? Is it time to leave? I think he can still stay for one more year, but they should help him by bringing in new good players, but also bringing young players from the academy who can fit into the system. And they should also appoint a good coach. In my mind, if I was the president of Barcelona, I wouldn't hesitate to appoint Xavi. I would just appoint Xavi. And if he needs help, you might bring in Iniesta to help him. Because these are the people who understand the Barcelona philosophy and the Barcelona identity. And I think they will take them forward. They did the same when they appointed Pep Guardiola. Although many people still insist that Pep Guardiola inherited a well-oiled machine, which had been prepared by record. Football politics, people have got their own preferences. But from what Pep did when he was at the helm at Barcelona, I can give him credit for what he did, because he shipped out those he didn't need, people like Ronaldinho, and gave a more prominent role to players like Messi, Xavi, and Iniesta. And the results were there they were amazing. They won everything on offer. And this, everyone wanted to be like Barcelona because it had a certain identity. But now they have been found out, maybe because they rested on their laurels, but now they have to go back and come to terms again with rediscovering themselves, who they are. And of course, Bayern, yeah, the kind of football they are playing is amazing. And everyone, it's almost like as if their name is on the trophy already. But football is full of surprises. So we have Bayern versus Lyon and PSG versus Leipzig. It might be an all-German final, or it might be an all-French final, whatever case might be. But I'm hoping from the bottom of my heart that we need a new name on the trophy. Maybe Lyon qualifying to meet PSG, and hopefully Lyon will nick it. But I'll be very happy if PSG can get to the final because of Mbappe. I like Mbappe, so to see him in the final will be very amazing. As for Lyon, obviously every Zimbabwean was quite impressed by the way they responded to the grievances, to the bereavement, so to speak, to the bereavement which befell one of our main strikers, Tino Kadewere. His brother died in Zimbabwe, and Lyon released him to go and pay his respects to his brother. But they went a step further and they showed solidarity with Tino, even as he was away. They wore T-shirts saying, "Rest in peace, Prince Kadewere." Tino's brother is Prince. That was solidarity. And they also, in the stadium, there also a TV showing which showed that "Rest in peace, Prince Kadewere." Amazing. Something that touched my heart, because you can see football uniting people. You can see that the Lyon players they are in solidarity with Tino Kaliwere. And although Tino is ineligible, is not eligible to play in the Champions League, they still felt he's one of them, and they gave him support. And that inspired them to that amazing victory over Man City. Simply amazing how football can unite people and how football can be used for solidarity. It is something that is good. It's something that we don't do in Zimbabwe. We often hear about so and so has died, but maybe we don't take a minute silence. We should be doing that as part of our football culture. So yeah, that's the international scene and the Champions League. Very exciting, and I can't wait for the final. I think the final will be a great one. Whatever teams qualify will be in for a thriller, I think. And then back home, we go to Zimbabwe. Some exciting news coming out of Zimbabwe. We understand that Real Betis, one of the Spanish clubs, is going to open some academies in Zimbabwe in cooperation with some sports consortium in Zimbabwe. And they're going to be opening some development structures which will groom players. The Real Betis philosophy will be imparted to the Zimbabwean players, their way of doing things. I think this is significant. This is significant on two levels. On the first level is that maybe it shows confidence in Zimbabwean football. It shows confidence in the Zimbabwean football. They believe that they can do something that will help develop the football of Zimbabwe. So I give it the thumbs up in that regard. I know on a political level, some people will take advantage and say, it shows that Zimbabwe is not having any problems, so people are showing confidence in us. Yes, we are having problems, and we need to solve those problems economically, politically, socially. We need to solve them. And we should not bury our heads in the sand and say, since the Real Betis are coming, therefore there are no problems. There are problems. But that endorsement by Real Betis shows that there is confidence in the Zimbabwean football market. So that's something to be applauded by any genuine football-loving Zimbabwean. I support that. But also, it can be a double-edged sword insofar as, for example, players might just desire to be in these academies so that they can fly out of the country. And as a result, the league will suffer. So I think there must be a way that players who are developed should stay in the league for a while so that they can make the team stronger. They can join teams like Dynamos, Cape United Islanders, Platinum, and bring in and make the league strong. If they stay for 2 years, 3 years, as long as we are churning out all this talent, and then they are playing for the clubs for a period of time before they move on. Because I know, in terms of financial rewards, players in Zimbabwe, they are not fairly rewarded. So they will need to move out maybe to Spain, since this is the academy is being sponsored by a Spanish team. If they move to Spain, they will get better deals. That should be supported by everyone. They get scholarships, they go out, they play, they come back and represent the national team. That's very good. But at the same time, we need to make sure that our league is strong, and players who are developed should at least play for the local teams for a while, so that the league can be stronger. That is how I see it. But I know other people will have a different perspective. I was reading an article on Cameroonian football the other day, and it was a celebration of the 1990 performance of the Indomitable Lions when they went to Italy, to the World Cup in Italy 1990, when Roger Milla performed wonders And the world set up and noticed that African football had arrived. And I think FIFA actually realized that they were giving Africa a raw deal because of the performance of Cameroon. They actually added one more slot to Africa. So from two slots that Africa was assigned, they ended up with 3. And now we are on 5, I think. But it began with that journey, the Cameroon journey. It was an amazing performance. I was able to watch those matches. I was down in Chipinge. I remember the quarterfinal against England. Wow, that it was so near and yet so far. But we enjoyed those matches because Cameroon really represented Africa so well. But since then, Cameroon has kind of stagnated, and they have not proceeded. We expected that having reached the quarterfinal, having reached the quarterfinal, they will then go on to build up and get to the semi-final, final even. We're hoping that an African team by now will have reached the final of the World Cup. And a country like Cameroon, we expected a lot from them. Of course, Nigeria, Senegal, we expect a lot from them. But that has not happened. Why has it not happened in Cameroon? I was listening to Jose Antonio Bell, one of the most respected goalkeepers in Cameroon. And he said the only reason why we have not progressed in Cameroon is because we have neglected the league. The league is not as strong as it used to be. And remember those players who went to the World Cup in 1990, they were local-based players. And some of them, of course, they were in semi-professional clubs in France, but most of them were locally based, and they went and performed wonders. So he was saying that we have neglected the clubs, we have neglected the league. And people who are coming into Cameroonian football right now, all they're interested in is to uplift the talent, uproot the talent and take it to Europe. They don't care about what happens in terms of developing the league. They don't care about the local league. They care about the players in Europe. They care about the players playing in outside the country so that they can get the money, the foreign currency. So that has cost Cameroon dear. I know Cameroon used to have some big clubs like Canon Yaoundé. I like that name, Canon Yaoundé. That was a powerful club. I think Roger Miller played for that team. Peter Thomas Nkono also, I think he played for that team. But now they are punchbags in Africa. You don't hear of Cameroonian clubs at all in the Champions League in Africa. No, you don't hear about them anymore. They are just ordinary clubs. And I think the main reason is that the local league has been neglected. This is something that African countries should not do. African countries should build their leagues. They should improve their leagues. They should make their leagues worthwhile to the extent that even those players who might not desire to move can still play in the local leagues and still have a fruitful career. They can still be rewarded sufficiently for their careers. The Zambian League is doing that. The South African League is doing that. And I foresee a situation where Zambia will have a very strong national team very soon because most of the players are there and they are happy. And they can the league becomes so competitive. And when they select players, they can select the local-based players and they can select those in Europe. And amazingly, they will build a strong national team. So yes, it's something that we need to think about seriously as African football leaders. We need to develop our local leagues. We should not just believe that as long as we export players, that's good enough. We need to make sure that the league is strong and we continue to develop the league. That's something that I hope will happen. And so that's exciting news. The Real Betis deal in Zimbabwe. That's exciting news. And I hope that it sails through and it is managed properly. And there will be less politics, because that's always the challenge in Zimbabwe, politics. There's less intervention, political intervention, whereby people just come in, they want a slice of the cake even before. They want a slice of the cake. They want to facilitate things. They just want something. You see, before even the academy takes flight, they want something already. They want to see how they can eat, how they can also benefit. It's disheartening. And if you are dealing with people with integrity, they might not tolerate that. They might just decide, no, okay, we are fed up. We are going to another country. They are going to Zambia. We are going to Mozambique. There are so many countries that need help with football development. So it's easy for people to just move and say, Tawend, because I'm serious. So we need to be serious as Zimbabweans to reap these rewards. But also, I want to think that even as Real Betis has established this, they are going to establish this academy, we also need to support those academies which are already there. I feel burdened that I need to do something also, because I talk a lot to a person like Stanley Chirambadara. I know the effort that he's doing in Mufakos with the young ghetto players in the ghetto in Mufakos. And I feel burdened that I should do something. I have been talking to him a lot, and I hope that soon I'll revive that commitment to help him in a small way, in a small way, to encourage him so that he continues with these young people. But there are so many young people in the ghettos, so-called ghettos. There are so many young people in the rural areas, and all these young people, they need support to take them off drugs, to take them off alcohol, to keep them fit and busy. So that's what we want to do, and complement that with education. And if we do that, then we can build a great nation, because the youth are the future. So we need to take care of them in every way that we can think of. Yeah, so basically those are the topics that I wanted to highlight today. And on a side note, I also listened to an interview between Samson Chorwa, the young man whom we used to call Sister. He was talking to Alois Mujira on his program, SoccerNet. And I listened to his story. It was a saddening story. But having investigated further, I realized that there are certain issues that he did not really open up to. And I hope, which means maybe he's a bit depressed. Obviously, he's disillusioned with what happened to him. He's depressed. And maybe you need help for him to find closure so that he can move on with his life. Because bitterness can be detrimental to his health. I listened to him. I was sad. It was sad to listen to him. But I hope that the powers that be can find a way to help him find closure, help him to accept that injuries do happen, and what happened. It happened maybe 20 years ago. But now he needs to move on with his life. He might want to go back in football, although he said he doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't want anything to do with football at all. But maybe he might want to be a coach. If he wants to be a coach, then that's where the football leaders can come in and help him gain those qualifications, and then he can impart his knowledge. He was such a wonderful, wonderful player, Samson Sister Chorwa. I write about him a lot in my book, First Cut. I write about him, about the young players whose careers were shattered by injuries. He was a marvelous player. And I remember some of the goals that he scored. They were beautiful. But unfortunately, he only had 2 years worth of a career in the Zimbabwean league, but obviously he was destined for the top, or the very top. But injuries happen. So injuries, how do we correct them? Make sure that we have enough people who can address my injuries, especially my knee injuries. We need people who are trained, who know how to handle them. And I think that will help a lot. So basically, that's my discussion for today. Unfortunately, it's more of a monologue, but we'll try to make it interactive in future. But for now, this is what I have as a discussion. And I welcome any feedback that you might post as comments, and I'll try to respond to comments as they come in. But I will keep improving what we are doing and make sure that we have more interaction in future. I thank you. And like I always say, Sisonke, Tritese, one love.